Hello students, welcome. So today we are going to start our competitive lecture about chemical bondings and molecular structure. So we completed the unit. If you find any difficulty regarding to points mentioned in the unit or in the textbook, then first ask me and we will clear those topics and then learn these points. Okay, because competitive levels are always higher than our textbook levels. All of the syllabus mentioned in textbook are already included in competitive syllabus and some extra points are also added. So let's start with some example which may be asked in this type of competitive exams. So as we can see in this first question, in which of the following pairs the two species are isostructure. So different examples are mentioned: SO3 2 minus NO3 minus, BF3 NF3 BRO3 minus and XeO3 SF4 and XeF4. So first of all, you need to find the hybridization of given species. Let's try with the first example, SO3 2 minus and NO3 minus. So in this case, first you have to find the hybridization of central atom. In this case, that means in SO3 sulfur is our central atom and in NO3 nitrogen is our central atom. So you need to know the electronic configuration of the given species and then you will be able to find hybridizations. So first of all, let us practice how to find the hybridization, then you can solve this question yourself. So first of all, for sulfur, first knowledge should be it belongs to oxygen family. So outermost electronic configuration will be just like oxygen, but change is quantum number will be increased. That means in case of oxygen, our electronic configuration, because it contains 8 electron, basic electronic configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So similar trend will be followed by sulfur, but instead of 2s2, 2p4, it will be 3s2, 3p4. But all you need to know is its electronic configuration is s2, p4, but third number or quantum number is already present, so it also contains d orbital with 0 electrons. So normally we do not represent this last d orbital. And structure of SO3 2 minus will be something like this. One of the oxygen contains double bond with sulfur and two oxygens are single bonded with one extra electron. That's why it will be negative. So normally electronic arrangement around this negative oxygen will be something like this. That means they contains three pairs of electrons as non-bonding electron pairs, and top side oxygen contains two non-bonding electron pairs. Okay, and these two oxygen carries minus minus charges. That's why overall charge of SO3 will be -2. So concentrate on sulfur. It contains 1, 2, 3 and 4 bonds. So let's try to arrange 4 bonds in central sulfur. So as mentioned earlier, outermost electronic configuration for sulfur will be 3s2, 3p4. So basic electronic configuration of sulfur is something like this. So now in this structure, one lone pair of electron is still present on sulfur. So that means this is possible if sulfur uses its d orbital. That means one of the d orbital will be used during the structure formation if required. So first of all, we can say that one of the pair will break and its electron will jump in d orbital. Now each of these single oxygen will form one single bond and last oxygen will form some double bond, something like this. And as we know, second bond will be pi bond and we are not counting it in hybridization. So these are the orbitals which will contribute in hybridization. So first is non-bonding electron pair and then we have 3 sigma bond pairs. So structure, what is the structure of SO3 2 minus now? So non-bonding electron pair usually do not contribute. but it will contribute in hybridization. So hybridization will be 1 s orbital and 3 p orbital. So this structure contains sp3 hybridization, but one of these 4 electron pairs is non-bonding electron pair. So if you have sp3 hybridization and 3 bond pairs and 1 non-bonding electron pair, then structure will be pyramidal, trigonal pyramidal. That means sulfur will be present here, and then 3 oxygen atoms or ions will be present here. So that means oxygens are present at the base of the pyramid, and sulfur is present on the top of this triangular pyramid. Or you can follow simple ABE formula, where A is the central atom. That means in this case our sulfur is central atom. B will be atoms present around the central atom. So we have total 3 oxygens, and E will be non-bonding electron pairs. So that means for sulfur we have one central atom, we have 3 atoms or particles around it, and we have one non-bonding electron pair here. So common formula will be AB2E1. Now follow the table mentioned in textbook and find these type of representation, in which we have one central atom having 3 bond pairs around it and one non-bonding electron pair, and try to find the shape mentioned in it. It will be triangular pyramidal. Now let's talk about NO3 minus. So central atom nitrogen usually contains 1s2, 2s2, 2p3 electronic configuration. That means 1 electron less than sulfur or oxygen. So in this case, just like the previous example, same type of electronic arrangement will be observed, but we have 1 electron short from the previous example. So s orbital contains 2 electrons and p orbital contains 3 electrons, and usual structure or bond formation will be something like this. For nitrogen, 4 bonds are formed around it. One of the oxygen will be double bonded, 2 oxygens are single bonded. These 2 oxygens will be negative in charge, but one extra electron is used of the nitrogen, so it carries positive charge. So 1 positive and 2 negative charge, overall it will be -1 in charge. So just like the previous example, same type of electronic configuration will be observed, but main difference is we have 1 electron less, and nitrogen cannot use its d orbital. So we have to form all of these bonds in given 4 orbitals only. So nitrogen will share its electron pair with one of the oxygen. That means with this oxygen, complete bond formation is due to the electrons of nitrogen. So it is coordinate covalent type of bonds. Then with other oxygen it will form a single bond, then with last oxygen it will form double bond like this. So these 2 oxygens will be negative in charge, all of the electron requirements are fulfilled, and because of electron pair used by nitrogen only, nitrogen has 1 electron less, that's why it carries negative charge. So now as we can see, we have 0 non-bonding electron pairs, and we have 1 sigma, second sigma, third sigma, and a pi electron pair. So we have to count these 3 electron pairs. So 1 s and 2 p orbitals have it. So this will be the hybridization of NO3 minus, and sp2 hybridization, that means it will be planar triangular structure. Or as per ABE structural representation, we have one central element nitrogen, we have 1, 2 and 3 oxygens, and we have 0 non-bonding electron pairs. So observe the table, try to find these type of pair mentioned in textbook AB3 E0, that means 0 non-bonding electron pairs, 3 bonding electron pairs, and 1 central element. And you will see it contains sp3 hybridization, sp2 hybridization and planar triangular structure. That means center contains nitrogen, and around the nitrogen we have 3 oxygens, and this double bond will change step by step like this. So in our first example, we do not have same type of structure. So SO3 2 minus and NO3 minus are not isostructural. So actual answer is C. Our answer will be C. So these two are isostructural. But first try to find it yourself. Try to find the hybridization of these option as discussed in first case, SO3 2 minus and NO3 2 minus. Then we will move on next, and if you find any difficulty, then ask me. We will discuss step by step how to find hybridization of remaining examples, but first you have to try it yourself. Now question number 8, 9 and 10, all of them require similar type of explanation. The correct bond order of the following species, or next question, which represents the correct order of bond order, or 10th question, decreasing order of stability of O2, O2 minus, O2 plus and O2 2 minus. For these three questions we need their molecular orbital diagram. Suppose let's discuss about the 10th question, because in this question we have all different forms of O2, O2, O2 minus, O2 plus and O2 2 minus. So for that we need to find molecular orbital diagram of O2, which is already discussed in textbook, so you can go and refer it. From the basis of that diagram we can find the answers of the structures mentioned here. So let's start with the O2. So as we can see, for O2, molecular orbital diagram is mentioned here, but this will start from sigma 2s, but we can ignore first two orbitals sigma 1s and sigma star 1s, because both of them will contain 2 electrons, so they will be cancelled out. So if you ignore them, nothing will change, and we are going to ignore it. So first of all, let's try to find bond order for O2, and keep in mind, as the bond order increases, molecule will become more and more stronger. So higher the bond number, more will be stability, and less the bond number, lower the stability. So to find the bond order of O2, we need number of bond pairs electrons and number of antibonding electron pairs. So all of these orbitals which we represent with circles are bonding pairs, okay, and all of these which we represent with arrows are antibonding electron pairs. So in O2 we have 2 plus 2 plus 4, total 8 bonding pair or electrons present in bonding orbitals, and 2 and 2, total 4 are present as antibonding electron pairs. So that means we have difference of 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So oxygen O2 molecule contains double bond, and we already know it. Now let's find for O2 minus. For O2 minus we have to add one electron, so it will be added in this orbital here, okay, that means in sigma star pi star 2p. So obviously initially we have 8 electrons in bonding electron pairs and 4 in antibonding, but now one more electron is added in antibonding, so now total number of antibonding electrons will be 5. So difference is 3, and 3 divided by 2, so now bond order will be 1.5 for O2 minus. Similarly for O2 2 minus we have to add one more electron in antibonding orbital. So total number of electrons in bonding, it is still 5, but now in antibonding we have total 6 electrons, one more electron is added, so difference is 2, so 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So for O2 2 minus bond order is 1, okay. So remember, for O2 our bond order was 2, for O2 minus bond order was 1.5, and for O2 2 minus bond order is 1. Now let's find for O2 plus. So for O2 plus we need to remove one electron from electronic configuration of O2. So let's ignore this electron. So number of electrons present in bonding orbitals are still same, it is 8, but one electron is reduced from antibonding orbitals. So now total number of antibonding orbital electrons are 2 here and 1 here, that means 3. So difference is 5 divided by 2, which is equal to 2.5. So O2 plus contains bond order is equal to 2.5. Similarly, if you want to find for O22 plus, then we need to remove one more electron from here. So total number of electrons in bonding orbitals 8, total in anti-bonding orbitals 8 minus 2, that means difference is equal to 3 and bond order is equal to 3. Sorry, difference is equal to 6 electrons and divide by 2, that means bond order is equal to 3. So O22 minus contains bond order is equal to 3, O22 plus. So that means for O2 our bond order is equal to 2. For O2 minus it was 1.5, for O2 plus it was 2.5, and for O22 minus it was 1. So these are the bond orders of given species. Now all you have to do is higher the bond order, more will be stability, and correct order of bond order is mentioned here. You can arrange this in increasing or decreasing order as the question asks. So all of these three questions will be solved from this. Okay, so you need to know molecular orbital diagram of the species, and if electrons are changed and that's why the charge is, then you can rearrange these type of configuration and then you can find your answer.